folks, it's been a hot minute. So this week especially, but it always comes up, there's been a lot of discussion in the book community about authors in review spaces and when or if it should ever be allowed. I thought I'd make a video about the author side of things. Now, if you've come here for hot tea or a hot take, I'm not going to give it to you. Basically, I agree with reviewers. Authors as a whole don't belong in review spaces, period. Now, there are some exceptions, and I will go into that. And a lot of these exceptions have been talked about by a lot of the reviewers who are discussing this. See Reads with Rachel, see Margaret Adele. I think there is a general consensus, and again, I agree with it. So again, if you're here for an author railing against that, this is not the video for you. If, however, you are an author or you are thinking about publishing a book and you are worried about interacting with reviews and how you'll deal with them, this might be the video for you, so keep on watching. So a little bit about me and my history of reviews, because I think that it's important to know where people stand before they talk about something. I come out of the food world. I was running restaurants when other people were finishing up college, and restaurants live or die by reviews. I read a lot of them. I kind of had to, because if we had a health and hygiene problem, or if there was a menu item that was just blowing up, I needed to know to order more stock or increase our time spent on making sure that time and temperatures were perfect. This was important for health and safety. So I got a very thick skin through all of this. I had to learn the hard way that not everyone was going to like my food, and that people online can be assholes. And you can't, as a business owner, yell at them for it. I mean, you can, but it's a really bad look. So learning to graciously accept critique from people online and implement it without ever going back to them, unless it was a case where they were actually demanding an answer about something, was an essential part of my job as a head chef. Now, when I quit the restaurant industry because of a whole slew of diagnoses and started writing, I knew that once again I was entering into a review space. I was publishing a product and it was going to get reviewed. But unlike food, the only thing that I could affect was people's enjoyment or not enjoyment of the product I was giving. No one was going to die of food poisoning if I got this wrong. So therein lies a massive difference, and it took me a while to wrap my head around it. I was very much prone to reading every single review that came in when I was running restaurants. And of course, naturally, because habits are hard to break, I did the same when I started publishing books. I admit that I still do the same. I read most of the reviews that I get. I definitely will sometimes postpone reading them if I'm in a delicate frame of mind or if I don't think they'll be helpful to me. And sometimes I just don't read them because I know the reviewer and they really don't like authors reading their reviews, so I try to respect that. But as a whole, I think that if you can keep your distance from reviews and you can just read them as entertainment or as something that helps your process, go for it. This is not a critique of authors who are polite and can just go about their business after reading a review without any bad behavior. Unfortunately, that is not all of us, and there are some problems going on right now on the internet. I mean, no surprise there, but there's always problems on the internet. And just these are personal. These are in my courtyard, so I would like to talk about them. Problem 1. Authors responding to negative reviews. I'm jumping right into the deep end because I think this is the crux of the biggest problem, right? So a lot of people have talked about this from the reviewer side, and I really think that they are doing a fantastic job, and I don't need to reiterate what they are saying. Go look at the Reads with Rachel video. I'll link it below. Go look at a slew of other videos. They are fabulous and really go into this. On the author side, though, I'm going to describe this from the point of view of an author. You wake up in the morning, you see you've gotten a review. maybe someone mentions it, maybe you just check your reviews in the morning, be that as it may. You see it's a 1 star, or a 2 star, or a 3 star. There are people who think 3 stars are bad reviews, and I hate to break it to you, it's just neutral. But let's be real. You get that dreaded 1 star review. Your heart starts pounding in your chest. Something that you spent years, maybe months, but probably years working on. Someone hated enough to leave a 1 star review. Then worst of all, you see that it's not just a rating. Ratings are bad enough. They're a punch to the gut. But then there's a review, and then you click on it, maybe. You shouldn't if you can't handle it. Let me be clear. But you think you can handle it, so you click on it, and then you see it's like 7 paragraphs in all caps. It sucks. Before you even read a word of it, it sucks. I think it's very natural for humans to get on the defensive about things that we spend a lot of time and effort on. And so your feelings are valid. You get to have them. You get to say, wow, this is gonna be horrible. This is gonna be hurtful. But this is where that feeling, while valid, can lead to behavior that is not. So how should you behave when you get a 1 star review? Okay, I'm going to give it very plainly to you. If you can't handle it, don't read it. If you do read it, don't comment about it. It's quite simple. Reviewers are allowed to dislike your books. Readers have no obligation to you. And the review isn't for you. It's for other readers. If other readers don't like what this reviewer didn't like, they are not going to like your book. Selling to them is going to result in more negative reviews. Negative reviews are gold. They are sorting out readers who aren't going to like your book. They are not your target audience. So every time I see a bad review, the way I see it is it's a boon. It is helping me narrow down my audience. And I want to be entertaining. I want my books to be liked, which means that they have to go to people who are going to be primed to like them. People who are turned off by that negative review probably weren't going to. So that is the ideal behavior, right? You see it as a gift. You either read it or don't read it, depending on your mental state. And then you move on with your life. Maybe you learn a lesson from it, maybe you don't. It is not a reviewer's obligation to give you information that is useful to you. It is for readers. And then there's how not to do it. So again, you are an author, you just got a negative review. You decide that you're going to rant about it on social media, or worse, you're going to confront the reviewer directly. Not only is this a horrible look, you are telling other readers that they can't be honest or trust you to stay out of their business. This puts so many readers off. And what's more, you are being wildly unprofessional. Your job is to write books. Your job is not to get in fights online. You need to accept that once your book is out there, it is a product. And people are going to like it or dislike it. Reviewers do not deserve the anxiety of being chased by an author. They did nothing wrong. They reviewed something honestly. They gave the time and effort to do that, and they gave your book a chance. But it gets worse. So some authors don't just yell at reviewers, they get their fans to do it. Reviewers have been absolutely swarmed with rabid fans hating on them for not liking a book they like. And then their videos get picked up for breach of contract for YouTube or TikTok, and their accounts get taken down. And this ruins people's platforms and lives in a way that one bad review will not ruin an otherwise decent book, right? If your book will live or die by one bad review, your problems are separate. You need to work on your marketing, you need to work on your craft, you need to do something, because one bad review should not set your book back enough to crash your platform. One author sending all of their fans to torment a reviewer is enough to crash their platform. Please, please don't do this. Okay, that was very rambly, but I think that's point one, which is what to do when you get a bad review. Let's move on to a few other things. Okay, so I'm gonna answer some of the common questions that pop up, right? And we're gonna go kind of one at a time. The first one that comes up so often is, but if I don't read reviews, how am I going to get better? Well, here's the truth. If your only goal is to get better and you read your reviews in silence and you never complain about them and you just use them as data points, no one's going to bother you. You don't talk about it, you just do it, you learn, you move on, you get better. Good for you. The problem is when people do this who can't handle reading reviews in silence, when you must comment on negative reviews, or you take all the wrong lessons from them, right? Reviews aren't written for authors, which means the critique is often emotional and personal. That is not good data. That is not empirical. It is much better, if you're looking for that kind of data, to create a nice beta read group, send them questionnaires, get multiple answers for specific questions, and use that to improve your craft. You can pay developmental editors. You can pay writing coaches. Hell, you can sometimes pay reviewers to be your beta readers, and they will then be in a different relationship with you where you are paying them to provide a service. They are not doing it in the public eye, and they will give you the information you're actually looking for. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of reviewers do beta reads, and I encourage you, if you like the kind of feedback that this particular reviewer gives to books that are not your own, let me be clear, again, we have boundaries, then please employ people, spread the wealth around, bring people who you respect into your writing process if they would like to be there. That's great. But reviews are not the end-all be-all source of font of growth, writerly growth that some writers say. In fact, I kind of think that they use this excuse to excuse this really nasty behavior of reading reviews even if they can't actually deal with it. It's on you as an author to maintain professionalism. And if you can, that's great. And if you can't, please don't do this. Please don't use this excuse, and please just leave your reviews alone. But reviews give me a boost of confidence. Great. You know what? Me too. I love reading my 5-star reviews. Maybe that makes me a little vain, but on days when I'm finding it really hard and imposter syndrome is rearing its head and I'm just having a horrible day where I'm not writing a single word, sometimes I go back and I read those reviews that just made me tear up because someone was touched by my writing or something really, really moved a reader in a way that maybe even I didn't intend. There's absolutely nothing wrong in doing that. But again, there's this dichotomy where reading and interacting with 5-star reviews is a different beast. Should it be done? It depends. Again, I think that's a little bit more of a gray area. I don't love authors commenting on any reviews unless they specifically have a relationship with the reviewer. But, occasionally liking them, or if you've been tagged, saying thank you and keeping a, record of those reviews for a gray rainy day when you don't think that you are going to make it as an author and you think all your work is crap, is fairly harmless, good, happy energy making. But here's the problem, right? You're on Amazon or Goodreads and you're reading through your 5-star reviews, and then you see that 1-star review that has been nagging at you every time and you haven't read it yet. And you decide, well, today is the day I already feel like crap, I'm going to read that. And then suddenly 3 hours later, you are down a rabbit hole of hate and disaster and reading all your negative reviews. And then you're back to square, you really shouldn't have been reading those. So if you have the self-control and the distance to occasionally read your reviews and get something from that without bothering reviewers, and again, without shouting about it online, go for it. It's great sometimes to pull quotes out of those 5-star reviews for book marketing. Go for it. That's pretty standard. The big 5 do it. It's, it's part of the industry. But there is a huge difference with interacting with 5-star reviews and interacting with low stars, 2 and 1 star reviews. But this 1-star review is bashing me as an author and not my books. Shouldn't that be reported? No! That's an asshole on the internet being a troll. Don't feed into them. Don't report them. Don't interact with them. Ignore them. Don't read them. Listen, a decent reader who is looking at reviews to see if they want to buy this book and sees something where a reviewer tells an author to do XYZ horrible thing, they're not going to take that seriously. It does harm only if you interact with it. So don't. You're just giving power to the person who is acting badly if you do. Leave them alone. They'll sink to the bottom of the review pile eventually. And people may even buy your book because they disagree with this asshole being an asshole. So, you will probably win either way. This review isn't going to actually damage you. Don't give it power. Move on. Are there exceptions? Well, yeah, it's life, so of course there's going to be exceptions. And they really boil down to 2. There is one exception for contacting, well, actually 3. When to contact a reviewer. There are a few moments when I do think that it's okay to contact a reviewer personally. Understand, this is not publicly. This is not sending fans after them. This is a personal note. Here they are. 1. The reviewer has a habit of tagging authors in reviews, even if they're negative. If you are not someone who, because of your mental health or because of your own personal relationship with critique, would prefer not to see negative reviews, you can ask a reviewer to please not tag you in them. This is not, and you must be clear, this is not asking them not to post it. This is not asking them to be nice about it. It's just asking to respect your boundaries the same way you would respect theirs. Boundaries are important in any relationship. And as a whole, I've only had to do this once, and genuinely the response was very kind and very understanding. I don't even know if this person would have tagged me, but it was an arc that I sent out. They might have, so I just decided that for my own mental health, it was better to just ask them not to tag me. As long as you are respectful and understand that you are not asking that, and they understand that you are not asking them not to post a review, and you are making it very clear that you're not interested in seeing this negative review because, again, reviews belong to reviewers. I don't think that it's hugely problematic every once in a while to ask a reviewer not to tag you. Now, the second reason. Someone gave you a glowing review and you asked for that review. You sent out an ARC or they accepted a review request. They gave you a great rating and you can write and say, thank you, that was great. I really appreciated your words. Reviewers work really, really hard, and when it's responding to positive reviews, I don't think it's wrong, as long as the reviewer is open to it, to give a shout out of thanks. If they tag you on social media for a really fabulous review, I don't think it's wrong to thank them. There is a lovely positive side to all of this, which is a really lovely relationship between reviewers and writers. And when you are in that golden zone, it's okay to sometimes lower that level of that barrier between the two sides, as long as everyone's boundaries are being respected, and as long as this is the understood relationship going in. Don't just randomly write on people's walls or send them emails. Please, please, please. And finally, the one and only time I think it is okay to publicly have a problem with a review, and that is if it contains one of the isms. If they did not like their book because they, the reviewer, have racist, ableist, sexist, whatever isms, and that is why they don't like the review. Oh no, there are gay people, don't read it. Then, again, you cannot critique them for not liking the book. Nowhere in your critique of a review should you ever critique a reader for not enjoying your book. But you can point out when something is wildly inappropriate. I've had to do this once or twice. I write books with disabled characters, and when a reviewer says, I didn't like it because there were disabled characters, or I didn't like it because this portrayal of disability included romance and disabled people can't be sexy, I had some thoughts about this. But even so, I didn't name the reviewer. I talked about the issue, and I specifically asked no one to go after them, because this is an issue and a chance to talk about a problem, not an opportunity to bash a specific reviewer, even if they're being an asshole. I need that to be very clear. So, again, in summary, when is it okay to contact reviewers? If you think that you're going to be tagged in a negative review and you really don't feel like you can handle it, it's okay. It's okay to respond to really positive reviews if it is appropriate and if that is the kind of relationship you have with that particular reviewer. And it is okay to discuss big issues that involve racism, sexism, ableism, ... in a way that does not promote going after reviewers, no matter how nasty their review. We good? Okay. Again, these are just my personal criteria of when it's okay to reach out to a reviewer. You might have different ones, and that's okay. We can have differences of opinion. But if you are an author and you think that just reaching out to any reviewer or replying to any review is a-okay, I beg you to listen to what reviewers are saying. They are telling us very clearly what their boundaries are, and they really need to be respected. I would not want a reviewer to ever need to tell me, no, sorry, I'm not going to review your book because you have a habit of replying to negative reviews badly. Like, how horrible is that? How is that the reputation you want as an author, right? That means that people aren't going to give your books a shot. So the whole point of being, a business is gone, right, on the business side. But on a personal level, like, that's the bigger issue. On a personal level, is that the reputation you want? Is that what you want to do to people? Cause them anxiety? Make them not want to interact with you because they think that you're going to hurt them? Like, that makes you a bully. That makes you the bad kid on the playground. Don't be that. Reviewers give so much time and effort and dedication to uplifting author voices and to spreading word about books, and they do it mostly for free, and they do it out of the kindness of their hearts, and they should be up on a pedestal and respected in ways that, like, we should be just bowing down to them. They're fabulous. And yet, week after week, month after month, year after year, we have authors behaving so incredibly badly. I mean, stalking and verbally abusing and trying to destroy the livelihoods of reviewers for the crime of not liking their books. This is just brain-jarringly absurd and awful. We can all agree on that, right? Now, like all topics, this has nuance. Not every author is going to behave the same way. Not every reviewer is going to have the same boundaries. However, I like to, as always, kind of default to the highest level of boundaries, and then if a reviewer indicates that they want more of a relationship, then sure, let's do that. You know, if someone is open to review requests, write them an email. If someone, again, tags you on a really positive review, thank them. That's fine, but let the reviewer come to you in those instances. Let them say, actually, no, I would like to chat. I've had lovely reviewers turn into interviewers on YouTube channels because they like my books and have even turned into friends. That's fine, but it has to be reviewer first, not author first. There is a directionality to those relationships that as an author, you need to respect, and you need to understand that if you put a foot out of line, that's on you. It's not on them. It's not on the person who gave you a 1-star review. It's not on the fan who took your angry tweet as permission to go report a video. It's your responsibility. You are a professional. You are writing books. That those books are your babies matters to you. It should not matter to your reviewer. And if they don't like it, that is their business. They are talking to other readers, not to you. That is the point that I don't think there is a lot of wiggle room on, because I think there is a right and a wrong answer here. And it's just based on what reviewers are saying. They don't want authors in their review space. They are not writing for us. They are not performing for us. If they are a channel, they're being entertaining, and it's not for us. They'll make fun of our work, and that's okay. They'll leave bad reviews if they don't like something, because they're being honest. They're not obliged to do anything for you. What they did for you was they purchased your book, and they spent some time reading it. They've done their end of things. You need to uphold yours. You need to respect their boundaries. You need to focus on what you actually control, which is writing the next book as well as you can, promoting your books as well as you can, and being a decent and professional human being on the internet. That is under your control, and I promise you that if you respect reviewer boundaries, if you are pleasant to work with, if you never get angry when they post a negative review, you will earn respect. And you will be a safe author to make fun of or to tease. And it's going to be more likely that people are going to pick up your books, that you will gain some traction, that you will make friends, that you will find new relationships, and that as a whole, your experience as an author will improve. Things never improve by breaking boundaries, being disrespectful, or causing drama. You just end up as the subject of a whole bunch of internet discourse where reviewers share that you are not a good author to review, and you slowly sink into ignominy without friends and looking like a real jackass. Don't do that. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. Just behave. Behave, children. Don't make me glare at you. And that's all. If you want more about this subject, I strongly recommend listening to some of the reviewer channels that are talking about this. Their videos are fantastic. I wouldn't be making this one without them. And if you want to talk about this, if there are questions that I didn't answer from the author perspective, or points that you disagree with, please feel free to put them down below. Understand that this is a civil discussion, and if you are one of those people who behaves badly and is a real asshole, I won't look at your comment, and I will not reply to it, because I don't do petty drama like that. So, go ahead, have fun, and as always, keep on writing, keep on reading, keep on having fun, be a nice person. We're all in this kind of shitty world together, and books make it a lot better. Let's focus on that and not on petty infighting that only leads to just less good, fun book content and reading and writing all around.